I got to get with Black River on this because they're basically like our exclusive competitive park partner. Maybe? Yes, that is accurate. I don't know why I drew a blank there. Like I haven't been dealing with them for the last 3 years. Welcome to USAFBL Fingerboard Podcast. I'm your host, Levine Cunningham, and I'm excited to be chatting with Andrew Norman of 302 Casper on Instagram. Andrew is also known as Pacific Northwest Fingerskate Collective on Instagram as well. Andrew, thanks for coming on the podcast.
Thanks for having me, Levine. I'm stoked to be here.
I am excited for you to be on the podcast, mainly because I do a lot of stuff on the East Coast, but I feel like I don't get enough of the West Coast homies involved. And so I'm super stoked for you to be on the podcast today for sure.
Yeah, man. I mean, for real, if we're going to talk about it, we'd love to see the FBL on the West Coast more for sure.
Definitely. We were out there in 2022 and I'm looking to hopefully make a return here in 2024 for sure. I know we got a lot of things to talk about, but first off, let's let people know, where are you located exactly?
Yeah, I'm based in Salem, Oregon.
Okay, so that's a pretty major city?
It is the state capital. I think population's just under 200,000.
Oh, so that's a city.
Yeah, it's a fair size. It doesn't feel like it though. I think downtown is maybe 5 or 6 square blocks. A lot of rural. It's a pretty spread out town.
Ah, gotcha. That Oregon is literally one of probably 6 or 7 states I have not had the pleasure of either visiting or driving through.
Man, you got to come see it. I don't know. Did you guys see we've got those travel commercials that are like Studio Ghibli looking?
No, I don't know if that state's marketing reaches all the way out here in Indiana.
Man, that's why you guys ain't getting here.
I know.
We got these killer anime ads.
Oh man, that's funny.
Yeah, I'll link you, dude, for sure.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
I think they
Oregon's
have
a
3-state radius around you where they probably send all those marketing ads to come visit Oregon. So I see other states, but obviously nothing that far away.
Man, we got to tell them to push that stuff further.
I know. I may be you know what? I wasn't even thinking about Oregon, but now I'm thinking about hopping on a plane and go and see what's going on out there.
Yeah, dude, when you see these little 90-second, just the most adorable, idyllic anime ads they could have possibly put together, you'll be like, yeah, man, let me get that ticket. Let me go see what this Wonderland's about. It's good out here.
Definitely. So for people that don't know who you are, I consider you to be more of a community leader for the Oregon area.
Bro, thank you.
I mean, all of us community leaders, we gotta band together for sure. And so when you look at different states and who's doing what in those, usually those are all gonna trickle up to event hosties. And so basically people that host meetups, fingerboarding events, stuff like that, those are usually your community leaders because they're the go-to person for everything going on in that area.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of my whole thing. I was looking around. I was seeing the events that you were throwing. I was seeing what Slush Cult was doing down in San Diego. And I'm going, dude, there's nothing I can do within 150, 200 miles. Let me see what's up. Let me try and do one. So yeah, I guess I will accept the mantle of community leader. That feels kind of weird since I haven't been in this community for a really long time. But through the events and getting to know this stuff, it's been a wild trip for sure.
Oh, I feel you for sure. It's I feel the same way. I mean, I've only been in the industry aggressively for 3 years, and so I feel it's not necessarily the length of time that you're you're actually in the community. I feel it's the amount of quality that you're pushing out to the community.
Yeah, right. It's getting back what you give.
Yeah,
for
it
sure.
all comes back full force for sure. So tell people a little bit about your fingerboard background, how you got into fingerboarding.
Man, yeah, so I got into fingerboarding, it'll be last March, April. I was at the local park with my wife. We were walking the dog, and there was just a tech deck. It turns out there was some local social media account that was hiding tech decks around parks for kids to go and find. And I stumbled upon one. It was one of those Mark Gonzalez, the crooked graphic with the daisy background. You know what I'm talking about?
Okay.
I was okay, this goes hard. I used to play with tech decks as a kid. It's been 20 cold years at this point. But I just started messing around with it. I had got back into skating about a year prior, turned 30, start like reinvesting in what I wanted to do as a teenager. Yeah, so I just started messing with it. And then I wrecked my leg really bad last May. Just like a weird bail on a rock to fakie on a 4-foot quarter, tweaked my leg up underneath me, spiral fractured my tibia, popped a bunch of tendons. It was gross. It was like a 3-month recovery. And I was bummed, dude. I was just like so depressed. And so I really turned to fingerboarding heavy, just like laying on the couch, like just next to myself on the coffee table. Just like how do I get this thing off the table, man? Like how do I ollie? There was so much crossover with other hobbies that I enjoy and kind of the process of like learning and failing at something. I just got hooked, man. And the levels to it. Yeah. So laying on the couch for 3 months last summer, I just got really, really big into it. Found Unlimited, found USAFBL, found these communities, kind of saw how like supportive and encouraging and dope everybody was. And yeah, just like fell in love with it. Haven't stopped. Like every day. I can't, if there's a day, I don't go a day without doing it, man. I can't.
That's kind of how I am. I sometimes, even if I'm really, really busy and I don't feel like it, I'll make myself like go in the garage and do a kickflip. And like as long
Bro,
as I get at
real.
least one kickflip in, I'll be like, all right, I'm good.
Literally yesterday I was on like a middle school retreat, right? I was busy the whole day and I was like, dude, just hit 5 kick flips. Like I just like went
Definitely.
away, snuck away for 5 minutes, went and hit a couple, came back. Like, man, I just had to. That felt I needed that.
That's wild. I man, so I wish I was a skater. My parents would never let me skateboard because everybody literally breaks like something and they're always out and stuff. And so I look at it like it's a blessing and a curse all at the same time. But like I remember like trying to actually like ollie. I wasn't even trying. Like for me, like I'm so old school. Like the original kicker is literally like your trapper keeper if you're like super old like me, or like a 3-ring binder. It's like the original kind of like the kicker. Like you literally kind of go off the binder, then like kick flip or not kick flip, but just try to ollie or just kind of fling your board like off the edge of it. And eventually learned that, like I was just kind of scooping it and then try to do it like on the table. And then like I didn't think I could actually do it, but ended up like accidentally getting it off the table. And then like game over from there. Like
Yeah,
super
you get
crazy.
that moment, right, where it like floats. You like feel that. You go, oh my God, man, that's it.
It's like if you had like if you're a kid like your BMX and like the first time like both wheels you like fly off something and both wheels aren't touching the ground and you're like what, and then like everything changes. It's like we've got to do more.
And bro, that's such a good description. It is identical to that feeling.
Yeah, that's it's literally like when I'm thinking, I'm like, man, there's no other better feeling than like these two bicycle wheels just clearing something and there's nothing underneath you.
Yeah,
You just
man.
got to brace for impact and then you roll away clean with it. And you're like, all right, well, you've got to find bigger, better things to jump off of.
I'm going further up the hill, dude. I'm going
Yeah, yeah.
faster.
We're going faster. We're going down the big hill like in 2 months. Like we're getting the nerve.
Yeah, man. It's so real.
So are you like the only person that's kind of doing stuff out in the Pacific Northwest? I feel like there isn't nearly a lot of spotlight out there.
Yeah, it kind of took me a while to figure it out. Because initially, I guess I was a little bit arrogant. I was just like, I don't see events, I don't see nothing happening. I guess I'll just put one on. And then as I started meeting people, it seems like there's a really good hub up in the like Seattle area. I don't know, 30 to 50 mile range, Seattle, Tacoma, Bremerton specifically. That's where a lot of these cats like Fingers and Shins and Earl and all of them are up there. I know Earl throws I think he was throwing like Northwest Fingers or something like that. It was a pretty popular meetup. But yeah, outside of those, I know there are a couple of like skate shops that have done some recently. All Aboard has popped up and been really popular in the last year or so. Alien Outpost, I mean, they've been going nuts since they got going recently. They just threw a really killer event back in August. I think they called it Summer Flex. I missed it. The
I
footy from it
saw a
was so
flyer
wild.
about it. Not
Yeah,
I
dude.
caught it after the event, but I wasn't really sure like where. I didn't really, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't really paying attention like where it was. I just saw the flyer, saw the date, and I was like, oh, I missed it. And then I didn't realize that that was out in that area.
Yeah, I think that was up in Olympia. They had a really killer venue. They did a great job with that one. There's some dudes doing some stuff in Northern California a little bit, mostly like skate park meetups.
Mhm.
Um, There was a spot up in, I think, Paulsbo, Washington, maybe, North City Boardroom. Shout them out. They just got back on their feed. They did like a huge jam, had a bunch of fingerboarding comps. And then locally, I do want to shout out Rival Skate Shop down in Eugene, Oregon. They have hosted a couple of fingerboarding events. Mallory from Unique is the other active like event organizer out here. So she's been doing stuff with Rival, and one of the skate shops up here in Portland, Stronger. They do some events at Stronger Skate Park. So like there is stuff that's happening. So yeah, I just kind of I've been jumping in the mix, and there's a really just strong there's a really good core of about 20, maybe 25 dudes that are at like, and when I say dudes, I'm not talking, men, but there's like 25 folks that are at pretty much every event, and just kind of keeping it going, keeping it growing. It's been really cool.
No, that's awesome. I had literally no idea. That's why I kind of like getting people from different regions and stuff like that on the cast, just so that we can kind of get a glimpse of like what's going on in their area, surrounding areas, stuff like that. Especially like for me, I mean, you're 3,000 miles away from me, and I'm like, I have no idea what's going on out there.
Yeah, dude, it's been really cool too. Like, since throwing that first one last November, there have been so many events. At this point, there's at least one fingerboard jam within 50 miles that I can get to every month.
Impressive. I'm kind of jealous.
It's been cool, dude. There's a really strong community here.
That's crazy. I love how the West Coast has a lot of these smaller outlets that like you can easily just kind of hop in and be involved and stuff like that. That's the one thing that I'm absolutely jealous of the West. Is like you guys just seem more established to me, and then like the East Coast is doing things, but like everything is so few and far in between, I feel like.
Yeah, I don't really know what that is. Maybe it is kind of that like that Portlandia attitude, right? Like this is that dream of the 90s. We're about it. Like, yeah, dude, you want to get together and play on tech decks, dude? Absolutely. We're gonna support that. We're gonna be here for it. And I don't know, I feel like DIY culture has been pretty big. Like DIY is big everywhere, right? But we've got Burnside out here. Like we've got dudes that have been really hard and heavy in it. And I feel like the skate culture out here kind of influences that. Like if you come out here and skate, dude, you're not gonna get vibed out. You're not gonna get like clicked out of a park or anything. Like everyone is super chill and super supportive. And yeah, it's like about the community. People want to get together and just be like hyped on each other.
I love it. Absolutely love it. So with you starting events, like talk to me about like the history of your events. Like tell me about the first event, when that happened, where that happened.
Yeah, man. So the first event was last November. I think it was like November 11th. And it was at the Bad Space, which is like the venue outlet for a local brewing company called Sandy Am Brewing Company. Shout them out. They're awesome. Great beer. Got secured the venue. I just like reached out to the guys. I knew them because my band used to book shows there. And he was like, yeah, dude, that sounds like a cool event. We're trying to get stuff going in the space. I ended up got like 7 parks there. I had about 60 people come through. And if I'm honest, bro, like I pretty much just ripped off your event. Like I'll be straight up real, man. Like I looked like you're straight up about it on the website, right? Like I was looking, you're like, yeah, dude, here's literally all the information. Here's the rules for the games that I'm running. Like here's how the comp should go. And when I looked at how like standardized and clean it was, I was like, dog, like I could do that for sure. And straight up, dude, I just printed your rules off the website and like wrote my own, basically like stole the barracks script and tweaked it just a tiny bit. And that's how I ran my event.
I mean, don't be too ashamed. I mean, I am literally a rip off of the barracks and SLS. I mean, theoretically, I'm a fingerboarding version of SLS.
Yeah, dude, like that's exactly what it looks like, right?
Yeah.
And so immature artists imitate, mature artists steal. So I'm not trying to like put my crown on too hard here, but yeah, man, like if I was going to steal from somebody, I think you were the guy to steal from for sure.
Gotcha. Well, no, I don't know if I would say like I appreciate it, but I'm definitely honored. But
well, no. I think my other point too was like as it grows, and if like the USAFBL is able to get out here, I wanted dudes to be able to go and compete at your events and already know what the standard was, like already know what to expect from that structure. And yeah, it was super successful. People loved it. like, dude, it's always wild when you're reaching out to companies. You're like, hey man, I'm throwing an event. I just want to see if you're interested in sponsoring, right? And they're like, yeah, dude, for sure. Like we got swagged out for the first event, man, and it really made it cool for people. Like it wasn't just prize packages. It was able to just like give people the stuff on the floor. Like, hey man, I seen that backside flip. Like that was clean, dude. Here's something for you. And just being able to like create that level of stoke and kind of prove to the venue that it was at least mildly successful, was able to generate enough traction to do a couple more, and then kind of expand out. But yeah, that's kind of how the first one came together. Got the venue, got sponsors to really blow it up. You blew it up great, man. You sent such a killer package for that first event.
I
Uh,
appreciate it.
no, yeah, dude, it was great. Yeah, and then just basically, basically ran a USAFBL event at the bad space.
Oh man, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I would love to be able to take credit for 100% of the stuff that I'm doing, but I mean, I always knew that like when I went to my very first fingerboarding event, I was like, how do I get more of this? And so I went to as many fingerboarding events and stuff like that as possible as a fingerboarder. So that's just what I love. And then from there, I kind of took bits and pieces of how people hosted events and what they did badly and what they did really well. And so obviously I took the stuff that they did really well, mixed it in with like, the event space that I'm already in as far as like running Comic-Con, stuff like that, and kind of just blended it together. And so if you ever go to a USAFBL event, it's going to have kind of a Comic-Con kind of feel. Like we've got the banners and we've got all the displays, stuff like that. So it has a Comic-Con kind of feel and kind of look to it. And so if anybody ever made the correlation, that's why. It's just because that's what I know. And so we just kind of took a lot of the pieces together from what I liked from all the events and then literally just mashed into what is now, USAFBL. So we took all the best pieces and we just put it in one spot.
Yeah, man, I think you boiled it down super, super well. It really feels like, like the big comps that I love are like Tampa Pro, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And like SLS for sure. And yeah, just again, like the cleanliness and the structure and the organization just it also makes it like so easy to run, dude.
Yeah.
Like it's a pretty straightforward day once the doors open. It's killer.
Yeah. I mean, season one for us, I'm not gonna lie, like it was definitely a learning curve. And so season one was still fun. Those events went really well, but like we made lots of mistakes behind the scenes, more logistical, I guess you would say, because like the events themselves were awesome. Like as a fingerboarder, you went to like season one, like you're like, dude, this is awesome. And then, you got me running around like crazy season one. And then so like for me logistically, I'm like, how do I get it to where like I'm still running around, but not running around twice as hard? And so season two, I'm like, this is so much easier. Then by season three, like me and the crew, like we're just like another day at the office kind of a thing. Like we're just gonna pull up to this city and just do our thing.
Yeah, bro, you got it dialed.
And so it's getting really, really exciting as far as like what we're doing, how easily we're pulling off these large scale events and stuff like that. And so we also have the unfair advantage of when we do a season, like most people, they may host an event once a year, twice a year at best, where like, season one, 4 cities, season two is 12 cities. And so like before we even got to like season three, like we've already done 16 events. And so we
Yeah.
were able to like literally go through all the trial errors, all the inefficiencies and stuff like that in a very short period of time.
Dude, that's a really good point. Like that, yeah, just the time scale to be able to refine that makes a huge difference.
So like if you're on your second or third like event, I've already basically, was able to knock that out in a matter of like 6 weeks.
Dude, I'm a little
And then if
jealous.
you're looking at like last year, I don't think anybody else, maybe Black River with their tour, but we did 5 cities out west in 7 days. And so we went, I think on a Sunday, we went from Denver to Phoenix to Vegas to 2 spots in Los Angeles last year.
Oh, dude.
And we did it all in the same week. And so for all my West Coast people who are like, how come you don't come out west? And it's like,
Everything's so far apart,
yeah,
bro.
I was on the road for 13 days. I had to buy 13 days worth of underwear and socks for this trip. Like,
Dude, I feel you. The last time my band went on tour, we did 11 cities in 14 days, and
yeah,
it's brutal, man. You go from I think our worst one is we had to go Boise to Salt Lake City to Sacramento to Vegas. That was just like how it had to get booked. And man, you're just doing like these 6 to 10 hour stretches
Hmm.
trying to get to the, yeah, man, it's, whereas like it seems like you're able to do things at least in the Midwest and the East Coast, right? Like cities are 3, maybe 4 hours apart.
Yeah, that's one of the
Tops.
cool things about being where we're located is, even from like Indianapolis, I'm looking at Chicago, 3.5 hours, Cincinnati's 2 hours, Louisville, Kentucky is an hour and a half, Detroit's like 4.5, Cleveland's 4.5.
That's
Um,
so beautiful, man.
yeah,
It's
and so like everybody's like, how come you go out? How come you're only on the East Coast? I'm like, well, the East Coast, I can just bang out cities like it's no big deal. Where like I'm considering putting something out in the Oregon area where it's a 3-day drive to you, then one day for the event, then a 3-day drive back. That's a full 7 days for one fingerboarding event.
and like what are you booking in between, right? Like
Yeah,
maybe Denver, but that's still 6 hours. Like,
and so if we do come out west, which a lot of people want us to do that, you guys are going to have to meet me in the middle and you guys are going to have to like meet me up on like a random Wednesday, like I can catch you guys in between, which is what we did last year. And
right.
so we had pretty low turnouts because, there were running workday events basically. But, it's like if I'm in Vegas and it's a Thursday, if you want me to pull up, I'm here, but it's a Thursday, not a Saturday or a Sunday. So that's where like a lot of my struggles are as far as getting the tour out west is it's a logistical thing. And so it's like, how do I get all these parks and myself out to the West Coast and then still make it back?
Yeah, let's maybe start cooking on that though, because like again, the community out here is strong and they want to see it happen. And I bet we can meet you in the middle. Let's get that conversation going.
Definitely. Like let me know in the comments. Like if I pull up on a Tuesday, like you gonna roll out? Like are we gonna have a good time? Like let me know in the comments.
Yeah, man. Guys, tell him.
Tell
Tell him.
them.
Let him know.
Yeah, so I have the ability to go out west. That's not even the issue. It's just the issue is are people gonna pull up on a Wednesday? Are people gonna pull up on a Thursday? Like that's the issue isn't me. I'm gonna put you guys on blast. I'm throwing everybody out on the West Coast under the bus. It's on you guys. You guys gonna pull up on a weekday? Like I got sick notes, doctor notes. Like I'll write an excuse absence. Like whatever you guys need, I got you.
Yeah, guys. So he's literally put it out there. The gauntlet is down, y'all. Let him know.
Let me
Tell him.
know. We got
I know
time.
I know you're out there. I know you're watching this episode. Tell him.
2024 is coming up. I'm making all kinds of cool things, cool adjustments, making things bigger and better. And let me know in the comments. Can I pull up on a Tuesday? You guys gonna roll up? You guys gonna have fun?
I will show up for sure. You know I will be there.
So this upcoming event, is this your second one or your third one?
Oh man. Yeah, kind of wild. So this will be the fourth one at the bad space.
Oh, behind
Um
the curve here.
you know what, man? It's the West Coast, right? Like y'all just don't know. And then I was able to throw. I did a couple events. Well, I did one down in Medford with Bailey,
I
and
remember
then he was
that.
yeah, and he was able to do another one down there with Josh. And then I actually just helped out with a flock event a couple weekends back. They got a pretty cool venue up in McMinnville. There was a decent turnout. It was kind of small, but again, like the people who come to the events, like they were all
Mhm.
there. It was really chill. So yeah, this next one will be like the sixth or seventh that I've kind of organized and helped out with at this point. Yeah, it's back at the bad space, pretty much doing the same thing we've been doing. There'll be the 3 comps. I run a junior division and an adult division just to kind of
Okay.
keep it my thing. Like I really want this to be like Wu-Tang, man. Like it is for the children.
Mhm.
I'm also like I'm a middle school teacher. That's my day job. And I just see it as like I like kids learning how to fail in really like safe situations, if that makes sense.
No,
Um, and
I
like
love that.
learning, right? Like watching a kid, one, like just watching a kid get a kickflip finally is like, oh, dude, that just like, ah, it's such a cool feeling for them. It's such a cool thing to be there for. But then like for them to kind of learn that relationship with themselves, right? Of like, oh, dude, it's okay for me to mess this up like a lot. Like it's okay to bat 150 for a while here until it starts clicking. So anyway, yeah, I run the junior comp, run the adult comp. Got a bunch of swag. Got some really killer sponsors that are showing out for this one. We got some great vendors coming too. Bailey will be there. Blistered will be there.
Okay.
Flock is always there. We got Fingerland skate parks coming out. He's the guy behind, I think, Grindline. He's like the lead park designer for Grindline skate parks,
Hmm.
and he builds fingerboard parks. They're killer, dude. They are butter.
I've seen some of their older stuff pop up on eBay a few different times, and like I didn't know like who exactly they were, but I have seen some of their plazas and stuff.
Dude, yeah, he did like a custom one for the Flock event. We used it for the main the best run comp park, and it was
Mm.
just butter, dude. It was so perfect. Huge shout out Fingerland, man. They're awesome. I really hope I didn't mess that up. I'm pretty sure he works at Grindline.
If not,
Uh
we'll correct it in the comment. We'll correct it in the description.
yeah, somebody will definitely get like real angry about it and let me know. I've been on the internet long enough. I know how that works. Oh, usually like Finger Everything out of Spokane, Washington. He's a killer, like predominantly obstacle builder. He presses decks. But he was the main comp park at my second event, dude, and it was beautiful. 6.5 by 2.5 foot table. It was just like it was lappable, man. It was beautiful. Great stuff. Unique will be there. She'll be vending. She'll have a couple of her parks. Groove Fingerboards. I think he's also known as the Crete Doctor. He's bringing a couple of his bowls down and maybe one of his big like custom kind of DIY feeling spots.
Ah.
Yeah. Oh, and the big one, I do want to shout this out. I'm pretty stoked. Working on making it happen. I'm gonna make it happen. It's got to be there. But Justin from Fingers, I think he runs Ikigai too. He just built an El Toro repro,
Ooh.
like a scale El Toro repro that's just gorgeous. And it'll be there, and that will likely be our best trick obstacle. Like,
Okay.
let's see what you got
Okay.
down El Toro, bro.
We've been thinking about doing I don't know. I got to get with Black River on this because they're basically like our exclusive competitive park partner. Maybe? Yes, that is accurate. I don't know why I drew a blank there. Like I haven't been dealing with them for the last 3 years. But yeah, Black River, they've definitely been a huge contributor, stuff like that for our competitive parks and stuff. But I definitely want to kind of mix it up, kind of like that, where we do like best trick on like a plaza that's specific just for that. Like someone ran that at an event. I can't remember which event that was that I went to that they did that. And I was like, dude, this is awesome. Like, I like this.
Yeah, honestly, it was Justin that kind of turned me on to that at my first event. He brought down this I think it was either like a flat five with a double kink or a six flat
Mm.
six. And then it just had a 10 with a handrail down the backside. And it was like, yeah, dude, that's like whatever you got down. And then like the consistency too, right?
Mm.
Like if you're on like a G8 or whatever, like one of those bigger parks, there's just so many options, right? When I think about like a Vans Park series, or I think about like even in SLS, right? Like I like it when it's focused on like an obstacle. Like I kind of want to level that playing field a little bit and just be like, dude, what do you got down this double kink? And like I'm sorry, man, if you don't got nothing, at least gap the stairs. Like
That's wild. I don't know if I could. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna tell you. All right. So I had the weirdest dream like 2 weeks ago, and it has like forever stuck with me.
okay.
All right, so I had this dream, and I think it's literally just like Levine basically saying, like, subconsciously, like, this is what you need to be doing. And so I had a semi truck. I've been basically transporting all of my parks in a huge, like, cargo enclosed trailer with like custom shells, all that stuff, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, you know, truck and trailer type situation. But like in my dream, I had a semi truck that was fully wrapped USFBL. But I don't know if you know who Seat Flip is, who does all the artwork and stuff. You see a lot of like the Black River stuff and stuff like that. He does all the drawings.
Oh yeah, dude.
He had a decked out graffitied like C flip version, fully wrapped semi truck on both sides, like absolutely gorgeous. And this truck was pulled up. I'm from Missouri originally, so it was like pulling up to the Edward Jones like stadium, which is where the St. Louis Rams used to play. And so like I was basically doing an SLS event, which is weird because my dream, like, I'm thinking like SLS, they sell at the whole like stadium, they redo the whole park and all that stuff. Anyways, my dream, it only takes up like 5,000 square feet in the middle. It's really awkward, but like we're all having a great time. But like we did best trick, and like we were literally doing it like in like 5 or 6 different spots. So like each spot, everybody had to land like their best trick, and then like their score got accumulated to like all these different spots. And I'm like, man, like that's legit. I love it. Just like SLS. And I'm like, there's no way we can do that in like a 6-hour event. I'm like, I've always wanted to do a 2-day weekend event. And like that dream, like was just like, we need to do like bigger 2-day weekend events where like we can literally just expand this to the next level. And I was just like, man, like that dream is just like stuck with me. And so like I found that interesting. I'm just like, yeah, that's right up my alley.
Yeah, dude. I mean, dream. Maybe you just got a window into another universe, right? Like, it's a patchwork, dude. You
Yeah.
just saw the one where that is actualized.
Yeah.
And we can get to that one here too, man.
I was
That
like,
would
the
be
whole best trick thing is where it kind of got into it. But I was like, yeah, that is if you're listening, anybody's listening to this, like I'm dreaming big. I'm even having like visions just come to me in my sleep. So like you never know what's going on like in 2024 for sure.
yeah, boosters. Where y'all at, folks?
Exactly.
Folks with the money. Where y'all at? We just need like one of you.
But no, to kind of get back to what you were saying, like with like, providing comfortable places for people to fail. A lot of people don't understand this and they don't realize this, but failure is literally part of the process. And that's the process with literally anything. And so without failure, there's no appreciation. And so, like, if I do something and I get it right the first time and I continuously get it right, I don't fully appreciate what I'm doing. But if you fail at it once or twice, 5 times, 10 times, the more you fail at it and then you finally get it, the higher the appreciation for whatever it is that you're trying to do.
Bro, real. Like the fulfillment that comes from that eventual success, right? Whatever you'll call it, like delayed gratification, kind of the ability to
Yeah.
learn that, and the ability to learn the confidence in yourself. Like, dude, if I don't get this today, I know that if I stick at it, like I will get it. And yeah, like seeing that confidence kind of grow, right? Like, dude, I could ollie, and now like next week, dude, I can pop shove it like pretty good, and like it continues to build. And yeah, like the price of being a graceful professional is being an awkward amateur. And like if you're not willing to pay the admission, like if you're not willing to fall on your face kind of a bunch, you're not going to have a good time. It's weird. You got to be like willing to have a good time and just kind of like, I guess, laugh at yourself and accept, yeah, failure, and accept that like that is part of the process to just like not just growth in a skill, but like growth in general, right?
Definitely. I heard a weird quote the other day that amateurs practice to get it right, professionals practice to where they don't get it wrong.
Dude, that is literally something I preach in my classroom. Don't practice until you get it right. Practice until you can't get it wrong.
Yeah.
Literally, like my kids know when I'm gonna say that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, dude, it's a really, really important concept. Because there is getting a kickflip. Dude, killer, great feeling. But you don't have a kickflip. You got one. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like there's a difference between getting one and having one.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's the huge kind of defining line between the, like professional fingerboarding, I think is a pretty muddy, like nebulous area, right? But when I think about the professionals, I'm thinking of cats like Ramon
Mhm.
and like Winkler and like the heavies. And yeah, if you look at them, dude, they have failed at this. So what is it like the difference between me as a teacher and my students is that I have failed more times than they have tried yet.
Gotcha.
Yeah, bro.
I know that there's got to be one point in your teaching career where I'm assuming that all your students know that you fingerboard. And so, like, has any of your students like actually had a fingerboard in class? And then, like, you take it, you bust out like a steezy tray flip, and then like give it back to them?
I'm actually pretty like open about it, and I'm lucky to I teach at a private school, so I'm able to do like a little bit more. So I have a skate park set up in my classroom. I've got a rack of
Oh,
boards for the kids
gotcha.
that they can use. Kids can bring their setups in the park. There's like hours that the park is open. Yeah, man.
So you're
Trying to
definitely the
work.
cool teacher.
Uh, you don't want to. Who never has to say that about themselves is the cool teacher.
No, you got to have other people confirm it for you. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you're definitely the cool teacher. Like, if I had a
uh,
teacher that even did half that, I was like, man, like, you would have been like forever. Like, 20 years later, I would still be paying you a visit at your school, like, just being like, hey, what's going on, teach?
Yeah, can you just barrel the camera and say that one more time so my students who do watch this like know?
Definitely. Like if your students don't fully appreciate you, like they're gonna definitely like regret not appreciating you at the time. Because when they move on, they're gonna realize that like half their teachers aren't nearly as cool as you and be like, man, we definitely missed a golden opportunity to just take everything in.
Yeah, man, just chill. Just get on the skate park.
Yeah.
Just see what it's about.
Yeah. So no, that's awesome. I'm loving what you're doing out there for sure.
Thank you, man. It's been a blast. Just like a really cool community too. I think that was the biggest thing that really like sucked me in. It's just like, dude, this community's mellow. They are, like there's always like a couple of humans that suck, right? Everywhere. That's how it goes. But out here, dude, like on the West Coast, I haven't met them. I haven't found them yet. It's awesome. And it's growing. The community's building.
I'm noticing that just as a whole, I'm just like the community is growing exponentially, like mainly events. And I will probably preach this until like I'm blue in the face, but events is literally what's pushing fingerboarding forward, gathering up the community, bringing everybody into one spot, recognizing that this is a thing. There's other people out there that love it just as much as you, if not more than you, and literally pushing fingerboarding forward in a positive manner.
Yeah, man, I think there's a like huge value in the stoke. Like you can get stoked in your bedroom nailing something, but like the stoke that comes from somebody being like, bro, that was like, yeah, man, that feeling is, I just like people leave feeling good, man. That's
Yeah.
a huge piece of it. And yeah, that generates that desire to keep coming back, to keep kind of, for lack of a better term, like chasing that feeling too, right?
Mhm. It's something that I feel like it's a natural high in a way where it's like you're just getting these positive dopamine hits of just reinforcing it even further.
Bro, in the dopamine wasteland that 2023 is, I absolutely, um yeah, man, if I need the dopamine hit and like the Sour Patch Kids aren't working, I'm gonna go like hit a backside flip real quick. Like that's gonna be, mm, it's quick and it's a quick fix, and it's not gonna it's not gonna make it better long term, but dang it, dude, that felt really good.
It does, it does. I'm not even gonna lie. I just I saw a clip of a guy who basically did a 360 revert. And so like you kind of catch it on your nail and then you just literally read. So like I've been literally doing every flip trick possible, trying to catch it on the nail and then 360 reverting everything out of it. And it is massive hits of dopamines. They're all new experiences. And like I can't get enough. And just weird that like one clip, I wish I knew who it was. I'd give you a shout out, but like you literally
Dude, I
just
know
made
the
like
clip you're
the
talking about.
oh,
I
he
wish I knew
actually
it too.
he did a back finger impossibles the clip and then he landed it on the nail side and then did a 360 revert out.
Yeah,
And I was like,
dude.
how did he do that? And I had to watch it like 15 times. So I'm just like, how do you rotate your wrist like that? And realize he landed upside down and then like rotated his wrist all the way out. And I was like,
Wait,
oh
was that for the one of the local mob like weekend challenges? Was it Nolly back finger impossible
yes,
360 revert?
yes, that's what
Bro,
it
I
was.
couldn't hit that one. I kept getting the 180, but that wrist breaker, dude, for
Yeah,
real.
yeah, yeah. That's exactly what that was.
Yeah,
So
shout out Loco Mob or
yeah.
Mob Fingerboards maybe. Yeah, they run
What's the
that weekend
logo
challenge.
contest? Yeah, something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I'm gonna find it. We're gonna tag you.
A few minutes later.
Pretty much just gave me like 2 weeks of straight dopamine hits. So just messing around with it. I'm like, oh, it's not a kickflip now. It's a kickflip 360 revert out. And I'm like, awesome.
Bro, yeah, the bag just got so much deeper.
Yeah. And I was just like, I literally just learned a whole new variation of stuff now, like just out of nowhere.
Dude, legit. Yeah, I was at speaking of like honorable mentions and shout outs at my last event. On Instagram, he's unofficial Danimal. He's a renowned freestyle skateboarder. He was at the event. He's been fingerboarding since like January. And he taught me it's like half front finger impossible to truck stand. And he's doing it like on ledges and he's doing it like slides and then like laser flipping out of it. He did like front finger impossible truck stand, big heel out. And as soon as I kind of figured out, like, unlock that motion, right? now, yeah, my bag got so much deeper. Now I can like front finger impossible Casper, and now my transition bag is bigger. Like it,
I
yeah,
love
man,
it. I
unlocking
love
that
it.
stuff is so cool.
It's why well, I've always known how to do like a 180 out, but I never really like put too much like effort into it, like trying to like make it part of like my bag of tricks until I saw that 360 revert out. I'm like, how is this possible?
Well, and even like think I, especially when I first got going, I didn't think a 360 was possible on a fingerboard, right? Like
Yeah,
it
I didn't
doesn't
think
make.
so either. Yeah.
But then when I learned how to cab flip for the first time, and I was like,
Mhm.
yo, oh, dude, the cab flip was the biggest hit of dopamine, probably. Oh man, that's up there for like biggest hits of dopamine in a minute, for sure.
I've seen a few of the 360, I guess you would be like a 360 half cab. I've seen in a few games of skate where they're coming in like backwards towards them, then they kind of like like it's nuts.
Yeah, you got to start like here, right?
Yeah,
And then
and
you
like
end up here.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
it was
buck wild.
awkward, but I never seen it where like you're just doing it so fluently without rotating your entire like shoulder, arm, and body with it.
Right. For those of you participating in the audio only portion, the fingerboarder begins with their pointer finger towards them and ends with their middle finger away from them with their wrist rotated over. It makes a lot more sense on YouTube. Trust me. You know what? Go watch the
Definitely.
YouTube
Yeah,
videos.
go watch it. It's why we do release it on Wednesday. So like you can listen to it and then you can be like, oh, I gotta watch it on Thursday, the next day after, and watch the YouTube version. So
Yeah, if you want to see the weirdest way to learn how to cab flip on a fingerboard, watch this episode on YouTube.
I might drop a video too of me just doing that just for funs and giggles. So definitely check out the
Bro,
YouTube
do it.
version. I'm gonna do it. We're gonna do it. It's gonna be in my dark dungeon garage where I've got my little G8 park just casually hanging out.
Bro, vibe is vibe.
Vibe is vibe. I can only take one. I only have enough space for one. So anybody who's asking which park are you skating on all those parks, it's the G8.
I mean, why wouldn't you?
It's a hard decision, man. I've got some bangers.
Dude, it's a little unfair.
It is. And the sad thing is I only get to skate one at a time.
Man, your life is so rough.
It is rough.
I feel so bad for you.
I know, but it makes me sad because all the other ones are just they're locked up in storage, and so it's just like what can you do?
Well, let's get you out to the West Coast. Let's get them out of storage more often. Yeah, man, we'll get those doctor's notes going, get the paid time off. Let's make it happen.
So I know you. All right, so you're 4 events in now. So for people that are thinking about setting up their own meetup or event, like what do you think would be the most difficult thing about hosting an event?
I think honestly, like the big challenge is usually getting a venue and like securing a venue that like is going to be willing to work with you. If you're going, especially if you're going in cold, it's a weird thing to convince a venue to do. You know, if you really want to go behind baseball for a second, the Bad Space was not the first venue I locked up. I had actually been set up to like open actually in a brick and mortar. I had a fingerboarding counter set up. I had a chunk of the display case, like it was ready to go. And I'm not going to put people on blast. You know, businesses make decisions and stuff goes sideways, and it fell apart. But that's where my first event was supposed to be. It was at this local skate shop. And so when that fell through, I hit up this other venue that I knew that had like a basement venue below a secondhand store, and they do like these artists markets and like swap meets and flea market type things. And I was like, hey, that'd be maybe a cool event for it. Got kind of a vibe. And they was just like, well, dude, swing for the fences. Like, see if you can get a place with like a stage and lights and like a sound system. Like, why not? And so I like, yes, it's difficult to secure a venue, but like, don't be afraid to ask either. You're gonna miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Michael Scott, Wayne Gretzky, like, or however that, or Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott.
Good quote. Good quote.
Yeah, man, I had to get it in there. Yeah, securing a venue, and then, dude, promoting. God, promoting is probably the hardest piece of the puzzle, and making sure that like whatever budget you're going to work with is actually getting in front of eyeballs and translating to people through the door. To mitigate that, dude, like I hit every avenue that you have available. Get the Facebook ads going, get the Instagram ads going, get physical posters made up and go downtown and post them. I got lucky. Sandy M, I was able to give like a stack of posters to their delivery drivers so that any spot that they went to that had a community board, they'd throw that up on. God, that's the most difficult piece of the puzzle, like for sure.
That is interesting you say that because that's actually pretty factual, especially, you know, someone like me that hosts a lot of events. I like to try to drop some gold nuggets in every one of my episodes. And so this is definitely gold nugget time.
Gold nugget me, bro.
Gold nugget time. So getting a venue is extremely difficult, but once you find that venue, it becomes extremely easy. And so for me, finding a venue is extremely difficult because of the size of the venue that we need. And so we look at the smallest venue that I can even host an event with all of our parks, the amount of people, stuff like that, is literally 2,000 square feet. And at 2,000 square feet, it is pretty tight elbow to elbow. You're talking 100 to 125 people like tops. And so when you're talking 2,000 square feet, you're talking like banquet hall status,
Yeah, man,
which
you're
is,
beyond like mid-sized venue. Like you're starting to
yeah.
look at big room.
And so, yeah, you're talking like banquet size, like places where like people are actually hosting like weddings, but like, obviously a fingerboarding event isn't, a wedding where, you're dropping $20,000-$30,000 for that day.
But
And
the event space still does need to make money on the event. Like,
exactly. And so if you guys are obviously, probably doing smaller scale events, stuff like that, we've been looking into the veteran halls, like the American Legions, which is where we did a lot of our shows last year, which we are still looking into for like, next year, stuff like that. But I mean, these venue halls run anywhere from like $3 to like $1,200 basically for the day. And so
that's a
obviously,
really reasonable deal.
yeah, it's a really reasonable deal. Most of them have like a bar and stuff like that. And so, like, if you guys are trying to get some extracurricular activities and stuff like that, you have access to that stuff like that. So, anyways, if you guys are looking for like spaces and trying to figure out where to start, the American Legion halls are definitely a great place to start. We did, I think, like 7 venues last year, like in the American Legion halls. Obviously, for us, we got to go with the larger size scale for those, but definitely look into those. That's definitely a great place to start.
Yeah, actually word, because I know like the metal scene out here books a lot of like those and like Grange halls and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even, dude, good idea.
Gold nuggets, and
That
deposits are cheap. They're usually like $100, $150, and so you can lock them in pretty cheap without actually having to put up a lot of upfront costs, because that's where the majority of the money comes in. And so a lot of people that don't even realize, like, it costs me thousands of dollars out of my pocket just to lock in tour dates. Like, it's absolutely nuts. And so it gets crazy, it gets wild real fast.
bro, my last event was over $1,400 out of my pocket. Like
And this is in your
it's
backyard.
rough.
I know,
Yeah,
this is in
dude.
your backyard.
And it's like everything that goes into it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and that's the other thing. Hey, boosters, where are you at? Hit us up.
I know. So
Um,
definitely gold nuggets there. And then, promoting.
yeah.
So I try to get involved with as many events and stuff like that as possible. I'm not like obviously the largest fingerboarding account by any means, but a lot of people that are trying to get off the, just get their events and stuff off the ground, they got a couple hundred people, maybe 1,000 people at best on their Instagram and stuff like that. And so like I try to use, my accounts, my leverage, stuff like that, my Facebook groups. I've got like 2 or 3 Facebook groups now that are pushing like 15,000 plus people, stuff like that. And so just trying to like get that extra exposure for you guys to try to help out, things like that. I think it goes wonders. But if you have sponsors helping promote your stuff, constantly tag your sponsors. I feel like I sponsor a lot of events, and so like you guys are dropping the ball by not tagging your sponsors in every single post that you're doing.
That's a huge one that I'm missing, man. You're right.
Because when you guys tag, like just me specifically, like if you guys tag USFBL with any piece of promotional material that you have going out, I'm like, oh, that's cool. Add to story. It takes me 2 seconds. It may not mean much to like, it doesn't really mean too much to me, but it has a huge effect, because when you tag me, and it also gives me a reminder like, oh, I need to send out a sponsor pack. And so like when you're tagging
Bro,
people, stuff like that, you get all that exposure. And so like when we have like 30, 40, sponsors and stuff like that on the tour, and I'm tagging all those guys and they're also sharing that, now it's blanketing the internet because of everybody's reach.
word. That's an excellent nugget. You're right.
Plus,
I have been dropping the ball. I have not been tagging my sponsors.
plus we love it. We love that dopamine hit. We're like, oh, look at the cool things that we're doing, we're helping out on and stuff like that. And so getting your sponsors and stuff like that involved is also a huge way of promoting getting those things out. And so
I know this is going live like in October. But next week from when we're talking, my poster will be out with all the sponsors on it, and I'll have my ticket link live for pre-sale tickets. And I'll make sure to tag all the sponsors in that stuff for sure. That's a super good idea.
And so we've been utilizing that a lot. It gets to the point where like I kind of feel like I'm annoying people, but in reality is like they'll see it, they'll get a tag. And then if they're smart, it's pieces of content that they can also be like, hey, check out this event that we're sponsoring, blah, 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 blah.
That's what promotion is, dude.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You need to get it in front of them multiple times.
It's just getting in as many people as possible, getting as many people involved with it as possible. So if you have 5-10 sponsors, that's 5-10 accounts that could be spreading your flyer, your content, your promotion, stuff like that. And so now it's not just you, it's now 5-10-20, how many people you got going on.
Yeah, it's the numbers game, right? Like, dude, word, thank you.
Definitely. And that's how it is with me on tour. I get to the point where like we're like a week before the tour and I'm like, dude, like I feel like everybody's just sick and tired of seeing USFBL like everywhere. Like I feel like you probably get on the internet and that's all you see is what's going on like for the summer tour and stuff like that.
I mean, yeah, my feed is pretty USAFBL heavy, like June to August.
And so, but I feel like, you know, if you don't do it, then you can't get it out that way. And so like if you're annoyed by it, let me know in the comments. If you don't mind it, also let me know in the comments. I like to get some actual like feedback from people that follow what we're doing and stuff like that. I feel like most people, you know, they're just like, oh, it's whatever. I like the content anyways. And some people are like, dude, like this is all I see. Like there's got to be other fingerboarding things out there. And so like either way, let me know what you think.
Yeah, for me personally, dude, not annoying. Except in the fact that it shows me how I'm not promoting. So I think I just get annoyed by like, Levine is out there crushing it. He's got all this promo going. Your tour posters always look killer. It's very clean. It's yeah, man. So no, I'm not annoyed by it, except by comparison.
It's oh man. Well, I appreciate that. Get to the point where like I literally feel like I'm just annoying people with it. And so if you get to the point where you feel like you're annoying people with it, it means that you're doing a great job.
Yeah, dude, exactly. Yeah, if it's enough that people are like, dude, knock it off. Yeah, exactly. Nailed it.
Yeah. But don't do it like every day. Space it out every 2-3 days, something like that, twice a week, where it's just not like overwhelming. And try to make it where it's different versions of content.
Well, and it's like understand the algorithm at that point too, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You can't flood it, but you can manipulate it.
Yeah. Just throw some drops out there and just see what it accumulates to. So if those are the most difficult things, what's the fun stuff about hosting an event? What do you truly love about doing it?
Dude, like, I mean, the stoke for sure. I don't know, like I operate pretty heavy on vibe. And it's just the energy at an event, man. Like it feels so good in that room. Yeah, you want to talk about dopamine hits, dude. It's nonstop. Somebody's hitting something over here, somebody's working on something over here, somebody's like helping a kid set up their first deck. Like it's just constantly sick. Being able to swag people out is one of the coolest feelings ever, right?
Yeah.
Like, hey kid, here's like a coward signature ramp, and they're just like, what? You know, like, dude, it's just a good feeling. It's really fulfilling. You know, again, when you talk about like what you get back from what you're putting in, for me, it's like not work, right? Like it is. I'm sweating so bad, and I'm like frazzled and running around, and I've got my clipboard, and I'm just like so official, but I'm also like just so full of just like excellent positive vibes, man. That's like number one for sure.
I love it. It's pretty much kind of the same thing for me. I ride motorcycles, and so like anybody that rides motorcycles, you get caught in the rain. Most people are like, oh, dude, it's raining, but not a motorcyclist. A motorcyclist is literally driving through like a torrential rain with a smile on their face the entire time. Because like no matter how like crazy or bad it looks, like there's literally no other place you would rather be, which is so weird. But only a motorcyclist I feel like would actually kind of give like that whole analogy. But yeah, it's absolutely true. Like if I'm biking, I'm like, oh, this sucks, but then you're just like still smiling the entire way, like, you know, like this is awesome.
Yeah, man, can't beat it.
Can't. But yeah, just literally like for me, when people like walk into one of my events and like they may have not even seen a park in their life, definitely not a Black River Park, and it's definitely not like a whole room full of them. And so like when they walk in and their whole like face just lights up for like the first time, so you're just like, I don't even know where to start. like that feeling for me, like if you can capture that in a jar and just take it everywhere with you, like I live for that stuff.
Dude, real talk. And like that one, and for me, it's also like the parents and the older folks that end up coming in, and they're like, are you serious? And then they get like into like I love particularly the old men are like, honey, are you seeing? Did you see the craftsmanship and they mitered these angles? And you're like, yeah, geek, like yeah, of course they're really good at this stuff, man. These are woodworkers. These are cement finishers, dude. Like these are artisans.
I love the parents too. Like we literally just kind of like open up their entire world. A whole paradigm shift happens at our events where they're just like, I didn't really know what to expect. And then I came here and I'm just like, this is so far beyond anything I could have imagined. And like they didn't realize how serious and how heavy it was.
Bro, yeah. Yeah. And to have the outlet for the kids that are really into it too. Like we consistently have a kid that comes to our events from like 2.5 hours out of town because yeah, he doesn't have anything out by him. Now this event is happening. And he comes out and competes and podiums every single time. And it's dude, like that's what it's about, man. That's so cool.
You don't happen to know who that is by chance?
His name is Mick. Oh man, I don't even know if he has an account actually.
He's ghosting it.
Man, because he's young, dude. I think he's like maybe 12 or 13.
Oh, gotcha.
If I can find it, I will track that down and let you know. His name is Mick, though. He absolutely shreds. Mick from Bend, Oregon. If you listen to this, dude, I'm shouting you out.
Okay, so yeah, he's out that far.
I love you. I love your family. You guys have been to the events. You're super tight. I'm throwing it on November 11th. Show up, Mick. You're gonna podium again, bro. I got stuff to swag you out. Yeah, man. It's just awesome. It's just such a good, yeah. It's the feeling. It's the vibe. That's what it's about for me.
So I don't think we actually went over the actual dates of your upcoming event. So like tell them the date, location, hours, what to expect, stuff like that.
Yeah, bro. So it's gonna be, I believe, second. I had to bounce it back. So yeah, it'll be Saturday, November 11th. Doors will open at noon. It's gonna run from noon to 9 p.m. Tickets are $10 in advance, $12 at the door. I have had to keep taking the price up on this event. I've been really trying not to. But as we're kind of working the relationship with the venue and making sure that both sides are getting the money that they need to, that's just how it's going to have to be. That pre-sale link, like I said, will be up, should be up like next week, will definitely be available by the time this episode comes out. There will be, again, 3 competitions in each of the divisions. There will be a 45-second best run. There will be a best trick comp, and there will be a skate tournament. There will be prizes for first, second, and third place in all of those comps. There's going to be a pretty big raffle. Unique is putting up a bunch of stuff. I think Gibby's putting up some stuff. Flock will probably throw some stuff in. We'll do a pretty big raffle. Full service kitchen and bar. Really, really killer, like award-winning, like British and American traditional pub fare. Just really delicious stuff. Great beer. Great servers, lights, music. Yeah, dude, it's a good time. All ages, all day. If you do want to vend or you're interested in bringing a park, you can still hit me up. I'm working on my floor plan. I think I've got space for maybe 1 or 2 more parks, and I could probably squeeze a vendor in if anybody's trying to get in there. But yeah, there are going to be vendors. You can check out Blistered. You can check out Flocked. You can check out Fingerland. Finger Everything, Unique will be there, and there'll probably be some other dudes walking around just like dealing out of their bags and stuff.
That's a lineup.
Yeah, dude, it's gonna be awesome.
That's a sanctioned USAFBL event if I ever heard of one right there.
Hey, bro, if you want to go ahead and sanction it, I'll take it, man. I'll take the sanction, man. It's good.
We're actually working on that for next year as far as getting sanctioned competition events and creating our league for
Talk to your boy.
2024. So like, event. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw that out there for anybody that's interested, anybody's listening. But we are finalizing a lot of logistical stuff on our side where we are basically working on franchising out the competition portions of those events. And so like, let's say you want to do a meetup, let's say you want to do like Best Trick Street. You could run your event however you want to run it, but like the competition would be a sanctioned USFBL event.
In terms of like ranking and stuff like that?
Yes. So we're working on basically, creating a league member program, everybody's accumulating points. We're eventually getting to the point where the tour will turn into regionals and nationals.
Dude, yes. And again, that was the whole reason that I like stole your readily available materials off of your website, was because if it did get to the point where there were like competitors who were in the league, because like there are members, right? They could hopefully, yeah, be sanctioned and scoring points towards that at events out here. I think that'd be sick.
Yeah, and of course, anybody can still compete even if you're not a member. But if you are a member, we can track your points, track your progress, stuff like that, and then
Get that
start having
leaderboard clout.
yeah, get the leaderboard crowd, and then we'll host like events in that region where like all the top fingerboarders in that region are literally competing for a spot at nationals. And so we're basically working towards a point to where like we're moving it into an actual sport.
Yeah, and that's where the ticket price gets even better, right? Like
Mhm.
when you're just selling to be like, dude, these are the competitors that are going to be here. Like we've got some heavies out here. I was trying to encourage people like, dude, CD Play is Zero, Chris Daniels, he comes to the events, man. Come see this cat. He will blow your mind. And so yeah, if you could put on a full run of those dudes, yeah, I would pay $20 to come out. I pay $30 to come out and just watch like an SLS level competition on fingerboard parks. No question. That'd be so
Definitely.
sick.
And then imagine getting to the point where like we're inviting all of the top level fingerboarders from around the country and putting them into one spot, like a 16-person bracket from like 4 people from each region, like all coming in one bracket, like absolutely nuts to even think about, like just to witness it alone. You're like, man, that's like I get excited just thinking about it. I'm just like, man, this is wild. And so
I'm feeling the hype, homie, for sure. That'd be filthy. And talk about like building the culture too. That'd be so insane.
And of course, these will be 2-day weekend events when we do get up to that point. And so like it'll be a whole weekend type ordeal. It's gonna be a good time for sure. And so we are working on a lot of logistical things, stuff like that on the back. So it may seem like nothing's going on, but trust me, like if you knew like the amount of stuff that we're working on right now, it would literally blow your mind. And so 2024, 2025, especially 2025, like it's gonna get fun. It's gonna get real exciting.
Hyped, bro. I've seen the trajectory. I know you've told me even like privately, like you've got a plan, and you've got a really good plan, man. What you're doing for the community has been killer, and I'm just trying to do it like the miniature version.
No, I trust me, like we're all in this together. Like USFBL doesn't exist without everybody else. And that's where like a lot of people kind of don't realize it's like you guys love what I'm doing, but I can't do what I do unless you guys are doing what you do. And so like it comes around full circle. And so without you guys, without smaller event hostees and stuff like that, like the league doesn't even exist. It's just an idea. And so all we're doing is trying to strengthen the community, broaden the community, get more people involved in creating a world where like fingerboarding is so accessible and so easy to get into and so much fun.
Yeah, dude, accessible, exactly. I want people to just be able to be like, yeah, dude, let's go check it out. Let's see what's up.
Yeah. And so like I get on podcasts and stuff like that, talk with you, and I'm like, I didn't really know what all was even going on in the Pacific Northwest. Now I'm like, okay, I can get them turned on to Andrew, or maybe have Chris Daniels get involved, or maybe Mallory with Unique Decks. And I'm like, okay, cool. I've got people now. I'm like, oh, I didn't realize these people are out there. I didn't know these people were involved. And so now I'm like, okay, cool. Now it's not like, hey, I'm going out to the Pacific Northwest. Like, what's going on out there? And I'm like, oh, dude, there's blah 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 now. Where
Dude,
before I
there's
was just like, I think it's just Andrew. I don't know.
oh man, you're gonna make so many people mad.
I know, but I didn't know. That's just me being kind of ignorant, but I'm also, super far away. And so until we kind of bring people all in and realize like there's so many other moving pieces out there, like it's impossible for us to grow and get established.
Nah, man, the West Coast has a scene. The
I
West
know.
Coast has a scene. I'm here to tell them. I guess I'm here to let y'all know.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. You got spokesman Andrew over here.
Not the greatest hype man, but I'm doing my best.
He's getting there. I'm teaching him. You are actually apparently good enough of a fingerboarder where you are actually sponsored. You're a sponsored rider.
It's so wild, man. It's such a wild thing. I don't know if it's so much about being like good. Like I feel like I'm skilled. I feel like I know what I'm doing. I understand the physics, right? Um, it kind of seems to me that it's really more about just being like consistent and like being positive, and then vibing with the people that are on the team. A lot of the things, even like I've been on, it's been such a wild journey for me, dude, since like last May. I've been on so many different fingerboarding teams and I've learned so much on both ends of the spectrum through that process, right? Like, yeah, it really comes down to like my focus was never to be sponsored. My focus was never to be. I'm not like an attention seeker, bro. Like I want to be behind the scenes. I want to get on the mic and be like, "All right, here's first place," and I want to be like off that thing. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I've just been chill, and I love it. I do it a lot, and so yeah, I'm fortunate to ride for a couple of teams that I really believe in. I think they make excellent products. I it blows my gourd that I get to ride for like blistered wheels and trucks, man. That's so bonkers. But yeah, it just again made kind of that thing of like I'm the only Oregon guy on the team. I'm the only West Coast guy on the team because it's just not as prevalent, you know. And then I ride for sewer aliens too. And dude, Ant is just like a gem in the community, right? Like we
Yeah.
all love him. He's just a and I was so stoked. I even the way it opened up, he had like posted a story or something, and it was a meme that I kind of misinterpreted. It was like late. I just messaged him. I was like, dude, I could have sworn this was like applications to be on your team, and so I tried to apply for it, right? And he's like, you know what, bro? Like, no, I'd be chill with it. Like, honestly, like anybody can join the team, right? I'm just not good at like like sponsoring people. You're not gonna get a lot from me, but like you can be on the
Nice.
team. And I was like, word, bro. Like I'm a big fan of you. Yeah, man, it's just been wild. Rode for Noise Decks for a while. I definitely want to make sure to shout him out. Julian is just a spectacular craftsman, man. I have ridden so many different decks, and in terms of like consistency and quality and absolutely like obsessive finish and
He's really good. He's actually local to me. Shout out Julian. He's like an
yeah,
hour,
dude,
15 minutes from me.
he's
And he hand
so
paints all
good.
of his stuff too, which is really cool.
It's fire, man. Yeah, there was the thing that attracted me to his decks initially was just the art, right? And then just kind of vibing with him and like, oh yeah, dude, we're both big fans of the Death Wish team. We're both big fans of like Baker decks, and you took like Pedro's deck and you shrank it down, dude. Like I want one of these for sure. He kind of took a step back for a minute. He's focusing on like himself and his art and his, but like, dude, get you a Noise deck if you can, for sure. You will not regret it. They're very mellow. I will like if you're not into mellow decks, don't get one. Okay, they're super mellow. They are machines, man. They are tools and they are obsessively crafted. Shout that guy out really heavy. I'm a huge fan.
No, definitely. He's doing good stuff. And like I said, I've known him now for a couple of years. He's local to me. He's also sponsoring our combo of the year
Yeah, dude.
contest as well. So if you guys aren't familiar with that, we are basically SLS's version of Trick of the Year, a fingerboarding
Yep.
version of it. And so we're running it basically identical to what they are doing. It is a year-long contest. And we are rocking and rolling. By the time this comes out, the September batch of the 12 best combination tricks, it's heavy. The bar is pretty high. And so
Dude, the
if you
tricks have
don't,
been insane.
yeah, I mean, if you're not at the level to be able to think that you can get a submission off, I mean, just the fact that like we're gathering up the best combination tricks on the internet basically and putting them in one place, it's definitely entertaining and exciting for sure.
It's so cool, dude.
So definitely shout out USAFBL underscore COTY. So who are all of your current sponsors?
Currently just Blistered and Sewer Aliens.
Gotcha. So I don't know if like, are you allowed to tell us the origin story of how you got sponsored by Blistered?
Yeah, I could go into that.
Yeah.
Again, just like wild, man. It really came from like running events and meeting Bailey. He came up to my second event in February, and it blew his mind. It was the first fingerboarding event that he had ever been able to come to. And his booth sold out. He had like a monster day. Just had an absolute blast, and he and I got along really, really well. Dude's just super mellow. A lot of like similar interests and I don't know, we vibed. And so when he reached out and was like, hey man, would you like be willing to help me throw a Medford event? I was like, well, yeah, word, dude. We're trying to do this on the I-5 corridor in Oregon for sure. That's exactly what I want to do. So I ended up going down and again, like vibed with him, got to hang with him at the event, was super successful, had a great day. And so after that event, okay, yeah, to be perfectly fair, I had been contacted by Pipsqueak probably like a week before that event went off, and we were going back and forth. He's like, hey man, let me send you some wheels, see what you think of them. If you're into them, I'd be willing to offer you a spot on the team. I'm like, word, dude, that's super. Like I didn't have a wheel sponsor or nothing. I don't know, I just like I hit Bailey up more for like advice, right? Just because I know he's like a respected name, like a respected dude. It's like, hey man, like this is what's up, this is what's going on. I kind of have this offer on the table. What do you think I should do with it? And he's like, don't do nothing. I'm sniping you. I was like, no, dude. Like, no, that's not. I'm asking you if I should like take this and he's like, no, I'm putting you on the team. I'm already, and then he like added me to the site and was like, you don't have a choice. Like, you don't have an option. So he just kind of like, I don't know, swooped me in that conversation. And I had to kind of like go back to Matt with my tail between my legs, like, hey, bro, like the wheels are fired. Thank you so much. But this guy's like 4 hours from me on I-5, and like he's kind of the homie. I think I'm gonna go with him. Yeah, weird situation, dude. Just that, but yeah, that's kind of how it happened. Bailey was just like, yeah, nope, taking you. Threw me on the team, introduced me to everybody, and I had been chill, dude. That team's awesome. The Blister team, those dudes are heavy, and they're all just like big love cats. I got huge love for everybody on that team.
I'm always curious as to like how people, their sponsored origin stories, stuff like that. I know a lot of our listeners, most people in the fingerboarding industry, like they would love to be in your position, being able to be sponsored, especially like people they know, especially people locally, and even having contending offers where like, you've got a couple companies that are like, hey, like we want to put you on and stuff like that. And so, I mean, what like, you have any advice as to helping out some of these little guys that are looking to be big guys?
Yeah, I mean, dude, how do I say this? Like, one, don't do it for that. Like of course, like it's hard to say that. Like part of skate culture in general is just like that's part of the dream, right? Like if you're a part of it, like of course it's tight to have like the local sponsor you or to like get some flow blanks or something. But like again, I was never trying to ride for people. Like my first sponsorship came up through Noise. It was just the fact that he was like talking to me about, hey man, like I don't know if anybody would even ride for me. I was like, bro, I'd ride for you. And he's like, well, you talk about this stuff a lot. And I was like, yeah, I'm already like an ambassador, right? And so like there are kind of some traditional things that a lot of people say are like, kind of the path to it. For me, I think the number one thing is just like be consistent and be positive. You're not going to be you have to be an asset to the company. You have to be a benefit to the company in some way. Being a good fingerboarder isn't enough. If you're a good fingerboarder, but you're putting out 2 or 3 clips a month, you're not going to be an asset to what that company is trying to do or how they're trying to grow. Another part of it is not just like trying to get free stuff. It's like you got to be about what you're writing. I guess what I'm saying is I've seen situations where dudes are taking sponsorships and then like they're on the team and like, I can't skate this thing, man. It sucks. I hate this. It's like, then get off the team, bro. Like, don't be here. I guess I don't feel qualified to give this advice. I think that's part of the thing. I feel like I so stumbled into this and had some of it fall into my lap.
Well, I think a lot of people are in the same situation that are sponsors. I, obviously know a lot of fingerboarders and a lot of good fingerboarders that like to compete, stuff like that on a higher level. And so I deal with fingerboarders that, they're sponsored. They got lots of sponsors, multiple sponsors, stuff like that. And so almost all of them can literally have the same origin story where basically they weren't trying to become sponsored. They literally just fell into the opportunity. And so my advice for anybody that's trying to get sponsored is to basically come out to events, not just to support the events, but just to network and connect with people and stuff like that. Because it's not, this is so cliche, but it's literally not what you know, it's who you know.
It really is, bro. Like again, I'm going to fully acknowledge I have no business being a sponsored fingerboarder. I will acknowledge that to the full community. You can comment angry anyway. I know that's how the internet works, but it is about like knowing people and like establishing a relationship. You're not going to be on a team if you're not family. Like that's kind of what a team is trying to be about anyhow. At least in my experience, companies aren't looking for heavy, excellent fingerboarders. They're looking for dudes who are going to be about their product and who are going to be like a fit with the team and are going to be like posting consistently and posting positively.
By the time this episode comes out, I'm probably 30 days or less from dropping my first batch of fingerboards.
Yo,
I know. So I've been working on making fingerboards now for about a year and a half. And I think if you're a real OG and you've been listening to a lot of the earlier podcasts and stuff, I've been talking about like making fingerboards and getting better. Like I'm like 80%. I've been like 80% for about 3 or 4 months. And I feel like I cracked that 80% and got into like the bottom 90% tier. And so like I'm getting to a point now where like I'm feeling confident that these decks are high quality. Split plies are there, side plies are there, engraved top plies, packaging, all like everything is just on point as far as quality control, functionality, stuff like that. And so we're getting pretty close to basically being able to launch those decks and launching them on a regular basis too. So if anybody knows or follows me, like I've never closed my store. So if you can literally drop a 20 t-shirt order and I'll have it shipped out next day. Like I work hard. And so definitely give them a shot. Give them a shot.
yeah, are these
See what
coming
you
out?
think.
So will these be coming out under Curbed?
So I run 4 programs, 4 brands. Curved is the personal brand. So I'll have obviously curved art. You got USFBL. So I'll have USFBL themed decks, laser engraved tape, stuff like that. I've got Combo of the Year, which a lot of people are familiar with, which is another, like I can run all kinds of cool promo things with that. And then, of course, we've got the podcast that we're listening to and stuff as well. And so I've got these 4 brands basically that I will be releasing different types of art and stuff like that for those brands.
Bro, word, that's super cool.
And so I've got the ability to basically make a million different shapes and design. Like my rabbit hole went down. It's so deep. But I mean, right now we're looking at a mellow, medium kick, high kick. And then we're looking at 30. I mean, I have the ability to literally like whatever type of deck. We're talking pool, cruiser. I mean, I have all the shapes. We've been messing around with a lot of it, but I'm probably going to probably launch with like probably 3 different shapes and probably like 4 different sizes, trying to keep it as simple at first and then start slowly like acquiring more and more and more and growing it more organically. So we'll come out with a limited amount of shapes and sizes and then we'll get full crazy.
Dude, that's really sick. I'm like hyped. If this is like the way that you're announcing this, I'm hyped to be here for it.
Yeah, theoretically, this is the first time I would have announced this. And so you guys that are listening and watching this, you guys are getting a little sneak preview into what's coming down this fall, this winter. So
Yeah, keep your eyes out, gang. There's some new heat coming into the market. All right.
it's a matter of time. And so it's getting to the point now where like I feel that it's always I started off as curved fingerboards for people that have been following along and kind of catching my origin story. But I started off trying to make decks and then quickly realized that I wanted to go the event route. I really just wanted to fingerboard with the homies. And so I went the event route. And so, shout out to the deck makers. I've said this a few times in previous podcasts and stuff. Anybody that's making products, period, it is extremely time consuming and extremely tedious to dedicate this craft. And so everybody that's making products is also a fingerboarder. And the problem is you can't make something and fingerboard at the same time. You have to pick one or the other. And so there's a
Yeah,
huge
dude.
sacrifice there that a lot of people don't even realize. And so like if they're busy and they're pumping out orders, that means they're not fingerboarding. They're not enjoying what they originally set out to do. And so these guys and girls are literally just out here just literally making sacrifices for us. And so I don't think we take that into accountability and appreciation for what they're actually doing. And so if you have a brand and you love them and you're supporting them, continue doing so. But it's also at the same time, remember that like when they're making you stuff and you see all these drops, all these things that are happening, it means that they're doing this instead of fingerboarding.
Thank you for pointing that out. I think that's something that a lot of people forget about. Like, dude, it's a massive sacrifice on the maker side of stuff.
Definitely. And so for me, I think off season, I'll probably go back into making fingerboards, going back to what I was originally trying to do, what I love, or beginning to fully more love now that I've got the event side of things a lot more under control, a lot more tame, stuff like that. And so I'm getting to the point now where off season, I'm like, oh, let me start tinkering around with things and see what I can start making. And so I'm looking at making some crazy rails and stuff. I've just been tinkering around in the off season, along with all kinds of stuff. But definitely off season, I'll definitely be pushing out some cool things that I'm making. And then, of course, when we get in the tourist season, summertime, like, we're strictly events, strictly just giving you guys the funnest events across the nation
The
and
man has a
theoretically
plan,
countries.
folks.
Yeah, yeah.
The
So get
man
them in the
has a
off season,
plan.
and it might be a drought in the summer, but we're busy doing other things as well, so we can't do it all, or I can't do it all.
Yeah, man. I think people will understand that.
Yeah, definitely. I guess I'll drop another gold nugget as well. This goes out to primarily my local peeps. So with the deck drops, I am looking to start my own team and start sponsoring my own riders.
There's the segue.
Definitely. So these people that I sponsor, I would have to know you personally. You would have to be local, meaning that like you'd have to be able to drive to Indianapolis because that's just where all my parks are. We definitely have. It's just cool, like local meetups, stuff like that, getting the team stuff like that together, filming parts. I want to do like full length, like how do I say it? Just video parts.
In terms of like crossover, right? I feel like that's something that isn't as popular. Like I have seen full fingerboarding parts, right? But like that's a lot of work to put in.
It
I
is.
actually filmed for a full part. I've got like a 3 minute and 15-second part that I filmed over the summer. Keep an eye out. There's a full street part coming out this fall from some of the guys, some of the Northwest guys that put some stuff together. It's going to be pretty awesome. But yeah, dude, a team putting out full edits would be fire.
Okay, so yeah, like I collect a lot of the older skate videos, old like ES videos and 411 videos, Rodney Mullen versus Day Wong Song, round one, round two, like a lot of the classic, what else? Like all the Plan Bs, questionable videos, Tony Hawk stuff, Birdhouse, like the retro stuff, Jamie Thomas, like Leap of Faith, and
Bro, yeah, gems, man. All of
yeah,
them.
yeah. And then
You better say yeah, right. Otherwise, you're gonna make people angry.
right. Yeah. Anyways, I love those. And like it's always been like a childhood dream to be like part of something like that, like having your own team, your own video edits, just creating that maybe once or even twice a year type of thing. And so like to be able to like release like it's kind of like a portfolio of like your best stuff every year. Cause like I made small edits that were featured in like previous like people's projects and stuff. And then I look back at it and I'm like, dude, I'm doing so much better tricks now than I was like back then. And so like I feel like this is kind of a collage of your work year after year after year progressing. And so like you can be like, oh dude, the video edit from 3 years ago was awesome, but you got to check out this new edit that we got.
Well, yeah, I mean that's how skaters talk, right?
Yeah,
Like that's
yeah.
exactly what you're saying. Yeah, bro, that'd be so cool.
And so I'm looking to kind of like create that and just create that environment, that team atmosphere, and basically just being able to go to like events such as like mine, like yours. Like when we were on tour, we had companies like this from Denver, like their whole crew like came down. They had all the shirts and all the gear. And they just came as a crew, and I'm like, dude, that is so awesome. Like in Atlanta, we had like fathers, like their whole crew came down, Yuck Skateboard Shop and all them, their whole crew came up, like just having like that band of people that just like those are your ride or die type people, just they created that community, that outlet. I'm like, that is so awesome.
Yeah, dude. And yeah, it looks so hard when a crew shows up.
Yeah.
Out here we have the FUKT, the fucked fingers crew. They come down from like Tacoma, Olympia, and they show up and they got their alien logo black shirts. You're like, man, yeah, they're hard. They're cool. That's awesome.
Yeah. And I feel like we're definitely developing a platform for where that's actually like acceptable and like not only acceptable but like encouraged. And so when we host like events and stuff like that and I see these crews coming out and I'm like, this is what's up, like So, do you have any upcoming projects, or is the event pretty much kind of the only thing you got going on?
Yeah, I mean, right now the event is the only thing I've got like on the books. There is that full video project. The working title is called Palm Lurch. Justin from Fucked and Shins, and I think Abstract has got a party he's putting together. Street Fingerboarders are putting full length parts together for that. And hopefully that'll be out in like November or December. Not too sure. But that's on the horizon.
Well, I mean, the event and what you got going, that's a lot just within itself. I make it
Bro,
sound like it may not be much, but it's a lot. Trust me, it's a lot going on. And so for me, like I've mentioned before, like we're getting ready to pump out batches of decks. We'll do drops probably like every 2 weeks to a month. We've got 2024, 2025 stuff we're doing behind the scenes.
yeah, I guess if I'm going to be doing anything, I'm going to be encouraging people to like blow up the comments on this video and like get after you to be like, get out to the West Coast, let them know. That's my job now, man. Just evangelize.
Yeah, let me know if you'll, allow me to pull up on a random Tuesday. We can make this a thing. I see some guitars back there. Like, are you a musician? Or you got any other hobbies that you may want to let people know?
Yeah, I am a musician. That's been kind of my number one hobby for a really long time. Played in a band for almost 6 years. We were called the Ferengis. I'll do a shameless plug, man. Check us out. We're on Spotify. I thought we were
Nice.
cool. We got some music videos on YouTube. Yeah. I mean, my day job, I'm a music teacher. I teach 3rd through 8th grade music. I do some ensembles, middle school jazz band, guitar ensemble. So yeah, I've been around music and live music for a really long time.
I had some musical talent when I was younger, but I got big and they're like, put the saxophone down. I used to play sax for those that didn't know. And started playing football and other sports. And so music kind of left me for athletic abilities, I guess. So 5th grade, I'm 37 now, so it was quite some time.
5th grade is probably an alto.
Gotcha. It was big. It was huge.
Oh no, then it was probably a tenor. Dang, dude. If you remember it being big.
Yeah,
I'm
it was
a
big to me.
I'm a saxophone player too. I feel
Oh,
it.
gotcha.
Yeah, I play a ton of instruments, man. Occupational hazard.
Oh man, yeah, I hit my growth spurt, and they're like, "Yeah, you gotta put that away and come out here on the field."
Uh, yeah, yeah. I guess I was fortunate. I was small, man. I was, I was like 5 foot nothing all the way through high school. So,
Oh man, I stopped growing at 12, which is nuts.
holy cow! Yeah, they wanted you out there.
Yeah, I hit this just nuts like growth spurt, and literally at 12, like 5'11", which is
When you were
absolutely
saying
crazy.
Missouri, right? Like
Actually, Nashville, Tennessee. I didn't move to Missouri until sophomore year of high school.
I was gonna make some kind of comment about football being religion, but like it's still
Oh,
pretty big
gotcha.
in Nashville too.
Oh man, the glory days. Well, I know you got a long list of shout outs.
Holy cow!
Put
Yeah,
you on the spot.
yeah. You did just put me on the spot. I probably should have prepped for that, man. Yeah, I should definitely shout out the people that are sponsoring the upcoming event for sure. I'm going to leave somebody off, dude. Leave me the angry comment. I will apologize profusely. I'll make a post for you. I promise I'll make it right. Okay, but let's see if I can get everybody. Okay. Unique, for sure. Lit, Flock, Gibby. I mean, USAFBL and Curbed. They're doing great stuff. Sending some great packs. They've been awesome. Deep Search just hit me up. He's going to sponsor. Cosmic Inertia is going to sponsor. Double Joint. I think Famous. I'm not sure if we've locked that in yet. Ditch. I'm going to put up a Noise deck out of my collection, so we can go ahead and throw Noise in there. Blistered for sure. We'll be putting some stuff up. Dynamic's been a really, really consistent supporter. Slush Cult is sending up a pack for us. Teak is sending a pack out. Oh, Obsius. Dude, Obsius sent us a couple of completes. I'm going to make a post about that next week. Yeah, dude, we've got some really, really killer sponsors. Oh, Fingerland is also sponsoring. I think Finger Everything is going to sponsor for some obstacles. Snail Rail, really excellent dude on the East Coast. He's been a really big supporter. He's going to send some obstacles out for it.
And of course, if he missed you for whatever reason, we're probably going to add you after the fact in the honorable mention. So if we left
It'll
you
be
out,
that thing, right?
no,
Well, like,
yeah, no worries. I put him on the spot. That's actually my fault, but
no, you're good, bro. I think
gotta,
I need to mention like Bunny Tail. I think is going to send some stuff. Doom
yeah,
Lagoon is going to send some stuff. Sewer Alien will probably send some stuff. So many sponsors, man. It's been really awesome. And I will say, if you're looking to sponsor, if you're interested in sponsoring, please hit me up. Just shoot me a DM, hit me up on Instagram, on Facebook. I always like adding to the stoke, man. Always stoked to shout your company out, shout it out at the event, be better about tagging you in the run up and the promo for the event. But yeah, if you're interested in sponsoring, if you're interested in helping out in any way, please hit me up. Let me know.
Definitely. And I will also have all the links to Andrew and what he's got going on in the description. So it makes it easy for you to find this guy. Also, I've got some shout outs as well. I want to shout out to the Patreon subscribers. If you guys are watching this before anybody else, thank you for supporting us in this project. And if you are trying to find out how to watch all these episodes before they drop, because who wants to wait weeks for these things to drop? Get on our Patreon account. Definitely sign up for early access. You can find all of our content, whether it's the podcast, combo of the year, future, maybe some nuggets as far as like what's going on with the tour and what's going on next year. All that stuff is on our Patreon account. So huge shout out there. Also, check out Combo of the Year. We're giving out $1,000 cash and prize packs from 7 sponsors for the best combination trick on the planet. Anybody, anywhere on the planet, all 195 countries are eligible. So send them to USAFBL _COTY, Combo of the Year. Man, Andrew, it has been an absolute pleasure. Let everybody know what platforms that you are on and where to find you.
Yeah, man. Predominantly, I'm on Instagram at 302 Casper. Same handle on TikTok. I'm pretty active in the Facebook communities. Andrew, Norman, you've probably seen me in there. I'm the guy talking about noise decks constantly. That's about it. I do run the PNW FSC Instagram page, but run is a really loose term at this point.
He's doing air quotes for the audio version.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot about the folks at home. I just did air quotes. Yeah, and Levine's been dropping some nuggets on me about how to get that brand going and how to kind of tighten that up a little bit. So keep your eyes out there. Yeah, 302 Casper, Instagram and TikTok. That's me.
Well, I appreciate you being on the cast. This has been an absolute awesome episode. Hopefully people have got to learn a little bit more about you and what you got going on. So I appreciate
Dude, thank you so much for having me on, man. This was awesome.
Definitely. This is definitely one of my better conversations for sure. So
don't give me a big head, bro.
We're at the end of the cast now. It's good. So
don't do that.
Anyways, check us out. We got weekly episodes. Appreciate you. Till next time.
Peace out.